We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Championship Sunday from the Aly Jenkins Mixed Doubles Memorial here on Curling Stadium, Martensville. My name is Sean Joyce, joined by Ryan Jacks, and it's quarterfinals, and we're right underway. Let's get things set up here. Lisa Weagle, John Epping, throwing first here in this first end, and throwing the red stones. And with last rock, it will be Tori, Koana, and Aoki. Both of these teams come in with a record of 3-1 through the round robin play, and we're expecting an outstanding quarterfinal here this morning.
Absolutely, Sean. I'm looking forward to some of this action. It's going to be an awesome day of playoffs today.
I've been looking forward to doing a Weagle and Epping game since I saw they were on the lineup for this one, because I have a Weagle and Epping story.
Oh,
and we're going to get it out of the way early. I happen to be have the good fortune to call the Nationals in 2016 and 2017. They were both years hosted at my home club at the Nutana here in Saskatoon. And Lisa and John were at those events as well. And I can't honestly remember which year they did it, but it was one of their games I was calling. And Lisa was in the house holding the broom. John threw his draw, got up, swept it down himself, and swept it that last few feet into the house. And, you know, he's a skip, so he's used to only sweeping about 6 feet at the end, and then just a reaction. He throws his hand up in the air and says, "Nice shot," which that was okay by itself, but Lisa caught it before the mic switched over, so it showed up on mic. Lisa says, "Did you just good shot yourself?" And John stood up and looked around. He said, "Oh, yeah, I guess I did."
Oh, that's awesome.
It was. Everybody had a good chuckle over that one. So it's just a reflex for John, right? He's a skip. He only sweeps at the end, and then he tells whoever threw it, "Nice shot."
Totally. Yep. Yeah, it just goes to show you mixed doubles is a different beast.
It is. Got an interesting start to this first end. You see so often everybody goes down to that stone at the back right off the start, and both teams looking like they want to control the front of the house here, which, you know, a lot of times is the better way to play it. But right now, it looks like the blue stone belonging to Koana and Aoki, the preset stone at the back of the forefoot, is still shot rock, and everything's getting a little overlapped at the front.
Yeah, it's an interesting start for sure. Kind of even looks more like fours curling to me so far. You know, fours love to load up the front of the ring sometimes.
Keep everything in front of the tee and worry about the one at the back later. It's tough in doubles to get to the one later.
Absolutely.
Looks like Tori, Koana looking to make a play on their blue top 8, and they can move that red out of the top forefoot at the same time. Now she will have to be a little careful where these blues all end up. They're going to pop towards the open side. You saw Aoki sweeping the rollover, try not to leave extra ones around that they can hit, but I think if John hits this right, he's getting all three of them.
And if he's not the guy you want to leave something like that.
Oh, no. He may choose. No, he's setting up to throw the hit. Just about to say he may choose to throw the in-turn draw. The downside for Weagle and Epping to playing this triple is that the scoring area is going to be the entire 8-foot now. Boy, this might overcurl. Is he going to get the back one? Just touches it. Left his shooter in a good spot, though. Koana and Aoki do have last rock here in this opening end, but in a little trouble early. They have shot rock at the back of the 4-foot, but those two at the top 8-foot. Certainly with the amount of curl that there is on this ice, it would be tough to get to the button from the out-turn side now. Just because it's hard to get by that stone at the top of the 8-foot. I think looking to come around on the in-turn, you got to bury a little bit on that red stone at the top 8 so you don't leave a double on this side. You can't afford to be, sorry, Ryan, you can't afford to be too deep or they leave the run double.
Exactly, yep.
You're playing this to a pretty precise spot here in the first end.
I was going to say that they got to be conscious of the blue on the side, too, as with many mixed doubles ends, that in-off is there for this Weagle Epping team.
Oh, that's really good. It looks like such a simple thing to just draw the top of the 4-foot, but if she's a foot deeper, he plays the angle run on the red one that he just threw, and he can kill both blues. It's too high for that, and yet she's still buried. There's a good look at it. Almost half a rock behind a stone at the top of the 8-foot, and that means the double's not there on the other side. It's to not leave a double from either shot. She wasn't throwing to a very big piece of ice.
For sure.
John's going after the rock that was just thrown. Maybe hoping he can get a little curl by the one at the top 8. Maybe catch the back one. Just going to catch that top stone. Now, interesting, when the shooter comes across and jams, that now means Epping and Weagle sitting second, third, and fourth. So if it was important not to leave a double on the last time, it's a little more important not to leave a double this time.
Definitely, because first end, you do not want to be shooting against 3 or 4, even if it's a simple shot, because you don't fully know the ice yet. They did have a practice before the game, but still, you get better generally as the game goes on.
If you leave a double here, it might not be an easy shot.
Yeah, that too.
I think that out-turn draw would be tough now. You'd have to go really wide to get around the stone at the top 8-foot. Aoki was on this right out of her hand. Oh, well brushed. That's a nice shot. Actually leaves it a little higher and still has a quarter underneath that stone in the top 8-foot.
Beautifully played there. Yeah, based on this first end, we're in for a real treat today.
You have to expect that on Sunday, too. You've got 8 teams that are all playing well enough that they made the playoffs. 6 teams, I believe, ended up at 3 wins or better. I think there were 2 teams with a perfect record of 4-0, 4 more teams at 3-1. And then last night, late, there were 2 tiebreaker games to get the last 2 spots in the playoffs. They were 2-2 going into the tiebreaker, so everybody's won 3 games at least to get here. You can kind of hear them just talking about how much ice she has to take to play this tap. And they discussed all the options. I'm not sure whether they're trying to tap straight back or on the slight angle to the freeze on the one at the back forefoot. Either one's good, but you'll have a plan A and a plan B, and they will have set that before they came down to this end.
My guess would be at a slight angle. You do straight back, they might have that blue slash onto it. But they'd be pretty happy with straight back, I think, nonetheless.
Well, John Epping's going to have to go on the brush if he's going to get this straight back. It was tight line early. Maybe a little light as well. Can he get it to the forefoot? No. So Koana Aoki sitting 2 right now. And Go Aoki throws the first and 5th stone for this team. Probably one of the few out there that has the male player throwing 1st and 5th. He'll need to find a sliver of the forefoot to get to here, or to get a 3rd point here, and he's going to have to go really wide. Probably stick to the intern. No danger of running in a red one that way. And a similar conversation for them. When you've got to go out this wide, how much ice do you take? Both brushers on it. Now they backed away. Looks like he's got lots of weight. Has to get it by his own. Or can he sliver off it? He will sliver off it. Great draw to conclude this first end of play. Koana Aoki pick up 3 here in the opening end. Weagle and Epping will have last rock in the second.
Handcrafted in Camp Evolution.
What you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Big 3 points to start things off here in this quarterfinal for Koana and Aoki. Go Aoki getting us started here in the second. Looking for the come around. Brings it into the back of the button. Everything was in front of the tee line last, and this is a more, not sure how to phrase it. It is the way we see it more often, where everybody comes to that back stone to start things off. It certainly shrinks the scoring area early.
Right, yeah.
Lisa Weagle looking to come sit down on top of it with the outturn. She'd like to get just slightly across the face, likely to create an angle to get the blue out eventually.
And that'll fit the bill. It's a pretty nice angle. If you're any steeper than that, like you have a better angle, but you also give this team from Japan a better chance to get their own angle. So.
Yeah, well, and on this ice, you could chisel it out too.
Right. So I'd say that's they're going to be pretty happy with that one.
Tori Koana looking to sit on the corner of the redstone. Doubles is not supposed to be this easy.
Yep.
They're making some pretty good shots here and into precise locations here in the opening two ends.
Yeah, they've got to have stats that would be in the upper echelon of fours play. And these are not easy finesse shots. Right?
No, you're throwing these draws to a spot on the ice, not just an area.
And this is where I think doubles really helps fours play, because you just play so many draws, a lot of the same shots into the 4 foot there, and that really helps the feel in fours as well. Because draws are pretty important there as well, but you don't play as many necessarily in fours. A lot of more simpler shots, I suppose, open hits, come around without backing. So it's really good to be a player who plays both of these games for sure.
John Epping looking to jiggle things around. I'm not sure I'll be happy with the way he jiggled them around. He does have shot rock now, but the red-blue at the top of the 4 foot still goes into shot rock, and it leaves without touching anything else. Question here will be how much weight do they want to throw? It actually looks like they could probably get to the nose of the red. So if you get to the nose of the red onto blue, blue onto the shot stone, and that red should pop out a little bit. You probably leave it staggered away from the 4 foot. That'll be the key on this shot. If you stay on the high side at all, you'll still leave the red angled to go into the 4 foot.
Absolutely. This is a good opportunity if you can get to the nose or the inside.
Tori Koana has an unusual setup on her out turn. She actually sets like she's starting with an in turn and takes her counter after she leaves the hacks. Does it the same every time and has been very effective with it. This needs to curl a bit yet.
As long as you're consistent with it, I guess.
Yeah. Just exactly the way she had it planned. The blue-red at the top is angled the wrong way. Might have popped the red out more than they were expecting. But I don't know where that blue at the top of the button can go. There's some separation, but it's pretty well sandwiched in there. I think the blue is shot rock right now. Can probably get there with the in turn. Can certainly freeze the pocket with the in turn and get shot rock, but what I'm talking about is you can probably get there with the in turn to just move that blue stone an inch or two and sit 2 here.
Well, the way these folks are playing today, both teams, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Needs to get by that blue stone at the top of the 8. Not going to. Important to bounce off it so they've still got something available for the next one.
Not to bounce that air too far, though. Hey, it's a thin splash.
Well, yeah, no, it's there. You could almost get to it directly and play the double on the reds.
Yeah, you make that. You're laughing all the way to the bank here. Even looking to get a steal, take a 4-point lead, perhaps.
The slash isn't bad either, but if you make the double, you're sitting probably 2, and it could clip that red at the back of the 4 foot as well. You might be sitting 3. You would lose some of your backing, though. Yeah, I just saw Koana tap with her brush, and that's something you need to be aware of as well. If the weight you might choose to throw here, if you hit the blue, slash it into the red with a little too much weight, it comes across and touches your shot stone. You might not even be sitting shot after this. I mean, it's nice to think we could roll to the center line, but if you roll too far, you could leave the one at the back of the button sitting shot rock. Now, I don't think they're going to get scared off of playing this. I'm surprised they're not looking harder at the direct shot onto the red. It looks to be just fully open, and with the amount of curl on this ice, you can definitely get onto the inside throwing at it directly.
Yeah. I think that would be a pretty nice shot there. Yeah, like you said, surprised they're not taking a closer look at it.
Tori Koana looking for the short angle run on the blue stone on the top of the 8, trying to pick out that stone at the top of the 4. Runs it across, does touch, comes and touches the blue stone. Moved it a little bit, but I think it is still shot rock.
Yeah, I'd have to agree on that one, but only one at the moment. But
only one at the moment.
Those other 2 blues in the 4-foot are angled quite nicely, I gotta say.
Is that red on the, if we look at the overhead, the red on the right-hand side just in front of the tee line in the 8-foot, is it high enough to come across into shot rock? I think it might be.
It's close.
We don't have mics directly on the players, but there are mics on the cameras, and with only a couple of games out there this morning, we can hear them a little bit. Or 4 games, I guess, out there, but I could hear them talking about the left-hand side of the sheet as we look at the overhead, and they definitely felt like there wasn't much out there. So it looks like he's playing the in-off. Got to be fairly thick on this red one. He's going to be maybe a little too thin into his own. And that spills it far enough out the back that it's now blue, sitting 2.
Uh-oh. I think alarm bells will be going off in their heads right now.
Yeah. I didn't mind them playing that shot. I'm a little surprised they played that turn.
Yeah, this isn't a great situation to look at on your last shot if you're throwing right now. But they've got even another rock to close down the scoring area here.
Well, yeah, keep in mind the center guard is still out there. There's a fairly makeable blue double if you didn't have a guard to negotiate.
Yep. What do you think, Sean? What's Lisa's best chance on the last red shot?
Well, you know, it really depends on what Koana and Aoki settled on here. Like, they could be coming to the face of their own stones, and then it's safe. Like, you're never making the triple if you come to the face of your own, and that would leave her the side of the button. Or they could be going to the side of the button themselves right now, kind of leave the blue rocks in a triangle, and then I don't think you're scoring. It's how do you hold them to as few as possible. He's throwing a hit on the back.
Interesting.
Going to try to spin up.
Wow.
And he did it. But he still left her a shot. Like, she can come down to that. I mean, this
Wow.
This is the same draw she was going to have if he doesn't throw. It does keep Weagle and Epping from even considering the run back that would have been for a pile if you make the run double. And this is still a shot that has to be made. It's tough. They're actually looking at throwing a hit on the outside just to make sure they don't give up 3. Hard to play the hit, the little slash hit on the red and guarantee that you're going to get 2 of them out, though. So they have settled on the wide in-turn draw. Trailing by 3 already, facing 3, all biting the, well, biting or just about biting the button.
Yeah, there's a little bit of real estate in there, but not a whole lot.
Final stone on its way from Lisa Weagle. John Epping on the brush. Got to put it right on the tee line here. Needs to get by the one at the top of the 4. They're going to rub off of it, and it's a steal of 3 more. Koana and Aoki jump out to a 6-0 lead here in this quarterfinal matchup against Weagle and Epping. Weagle and Epping will have last rock once again in the 3rd.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
I was just wondering as we went into the break if we might see a power play. This is the earliest one I can recall seeing, 3rd end. But Weagle and Epping in a position here early in this game where they need an offensive end, and Go Aoki, Tori, Koana just will not miss. That they've made that tick into the rings.
Just about perfectly. That's they
shot
got
rock
the
in
corner
the
guard out of the way, and they're shot rock. Wow. Above the tee, well, right on the tee line, but still, that's pretty good. I suppose if we're nitpicking, perfect, maybe top 4, but for such a long race, that's a beautiful shot.
Lisa Weagle looking to come down and sit on top of that stone, which, you know, here's the other thing. It's a difficult shot because it's a guess. Nobody's thrown to that corner yet. She's going to come up well short. Don't think they were playing a guard there. Could have been, I guess. But mind you, if you wanted a corner guard, you wanted it still in front of that blue so you can use it to freeze down to and have protection from the front. That's more of a center guard where it is. Tori Koana can't hit anything yet. I expect she'll likely come around that guard.
No, it's a 6-0 so far, but I wouldn't say that's necessarily indicative of one team really struggling and the other playing well. And Koana and Aoki, they've been dominant so far this game, but we've still seen some really great finesse shots from this Weagle Epping team.
she's not playing the draw. She's actually trying to tap the red. Cannot kill it yet. Moves it a little bit. Blues sit 2. Nothing behind cover.
One thing I do find interesting, it's telling with 2 of these really good mixed doubles teams, is for every shot, whether it's a super hard appeal or just a regular draw to the forefoot, they always have the sweeper down at the other end with the thrower. So these 2 teams really value that sweeper and having that extra margin on those shots, which I think is quite telling for what many mixed doubles teams perhaps should strive for.
Playing the straight draw around the red guard. You could hear John saying top 8. If you try to get this all the way into the forefoot for shot rock with the amount of curl there is on this ice, there's room to get to it and move it through. It's only third shot where it is, but if you try to go after it, there is the risk of jamming it on one blue or the other. Aoki was looking at the guard as though they're considering peeling the guard into that stone at the edge of the 12-foot. Looks like that's what they're playing.
Bit of risk here. You're close to the blue one if you make it.
Oh. They're expecting. Did you see the gesture from Aoki? They were almost disappointed because he felt like he underswept it and they jammed it on the side one. That's a level of precision you're not supposed to expect in doubles. Still in a pretty good spot, sitting 2. Weagle and Epping only have 3 rocks left to come here. John Epping looking to make the hit. He does want to stay in the house somewhere. I heard him say roll over to the 12. This is going to be lucky to hit it all. Just touches it on the way by. Doesn't move it enough to even sit second shot at the top. Aoki looking at the double. You risk a jam with that, and I don't think it's necessary this late in the end. Just make the nose hit. You're sitting 3. They've only got 2 rocks left. Well, the good news for Lisa Weagle is it looks like you're going to have an easier shot this end, but the bad news is you might still be facing 3 when you throw it. She's been looking at 3 a lot. Looks like John and Lisa already had decided what they were playing on this one. And it looks like that decision is to come around the blue stone. John was just taking a look at which turn looks better.
And fair enough on already deciding on that one. Because the way this Koana Aoki team is playing, you know they're not going to miss that open hit.
You expected them to hit it on the nose, yeah. comes to rest back of the forefoot. It is mostly covered, shot rock. Look at just how much rotation he had to throw on that one to keep it out there.
For sure, yep.
Decision now for Koana and Aoki is, do you come after this with enough weight to move it?
I feel like they're going to.
Yeah, it's probably pretty unlikely that even if you crash the top one that you're going to kill it and roll out, so it's no worse than 2 anyway. Can't see them leaving a triple.
We could be even discussing the hit here. You got some options, the run back, you got an in-off really either blue. So, lots of options here.
Setup looks like he's throwing the out turn, so this is probably a run back.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to be disappointed about that one.
Well, I lied. I said Lisa was going to be looking at 3. Actually, she's looking at 4. But this is the most makeable shot she's had so far. She's had some tough ones to look at early in this game. This is a little easier than drawing to the sliver of the side of the button that you could see that she had last end.
I don't know, Sean. That was a pretty makeable shot. By
Even
makeable, I mean it was barely there.
It would have been hard to draw on a telestrator, much less throw a 40-pound rock down the sheet of ice and get it to stop on the precise spot.
Yep.
They talked about throwing this as a hit, and it looks like that's what they've decided to do. Nose hit is good, and I think they decided she could hit this on the outside, come into the other blue, and she's still okay.
Yeah, I got some margin. It's a nice little side pocket here.
Hits it right on the beak. They get their single point. They're on the board. Koana and Aoki have a 6-1 lead after 3 ends of play, and they will have last rock in the 4th.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
Aly Jenkins Mixed Doubles Memorial quarterfinal action here on Sunday morning. Sean Joyce, Ryan Jacks with you here. And it's been the Tori, Koana, and Go Aoki show so far. They've got a 6-1 lead over Lisa Weagle, John Epping. And it's not that Weagle and Epping have played bad, but Tori Koana in particular has placed some rocks in just outstanding spots. It would be outstanding in 4 players, and to make that level of precision in doubles is just almost unheard of. Nice draw by Lisa Weagle to start things off here in this 4th end. Anything can happen in doubles. A lot of points do get scored, but when you're down 5 playing the 4th, you'd have to think Lisa and John are going to want to start thinking about stealing here a little bit.
Did that touch the guard?
I don't think so. I think it got by the front one, but over curls the one in the house just a little bit. Oh, by a mile. But it did overcurl the freeze in the back, so a chance for John Epping now to bring another one on top of the pile and actually can sit 2. And sit 2 buried with nothing in front of them that can hurt them yet this early in the end. Waiting on the line here. He'd like it to get over to the blue one. He's going to stay on the corner of the red. Leaves a pocket on the button. Nice weight. Did not get the line he was looking for there. Perfect weight if he gets to the corner of the blue. I think the gesture I saw from Koana and Aoki before they went down is they're going to look to move the red stone that he just played. Actually might chisel that red in the middle of the 2 blues as well. It won't move it very far, but even if it changes the angle, they might have a way to get it out later.
The way they're playing, why not keep going on a bit of offense here? The gut move would be to peel the guard or maybe even try to run it in, but very well executed.
Did change the angles just a little bit on the back. It still is angled to jam. Koana and Aoki sitting 2 right now. John Epping going to try to come down on the out-turn side. Get to the inside of that blue shot rock. Just chisel his way into the button. Could make this one. There'll be such a wall of granite behind him. I'm not sure you're getting this one out anytime soon. Needs to get to the inside of that blue. Curling now. This is close. Maybe a little more weight than I thought he was throwing. He moved some of that backing more than he might have liked, but it's still going to be tough, I think, to get this red out. It's definitely jamming on something. It's hard to know whether it might wiggle between those 2 reds, squirt out of the 4-foot. You going to go out on a limb and guess on that one, Ryan? It doesn't look like there's enough room, does it?
Yeah, I think it stays in there. But as I've said before, there's only one way to find out.
Well, there is, but they don't have to play it. They could play the side of the red and kick, or the side of the blue and kick the red out the side.
Right. Maybe a bit early to do that. You do that, all of a sudden there's nothing in the top house, and that's pretty juicy
everything's
for
to the
steal.
back. Yeah, that's true.
But it is always there for them. You know what? Does that make a red triple?
Well, that's the other question. It might, but you're right. Everything would be behind the tee line after that. They're going to go after the stone that was just delivered, try to hit it. They don't want to touch the blue beside it now. They're going to try to drive it onto the reds. This is really tight. Simply going to peel the guard. That's not necessarily the worst result either.
It's the way to miss it.
John's talking about moving the blue at the top of the button and then leaving the two reds at the top of the forefoot lined up to the other blue. The problem is this blue you're going to move up is not leaving the rings. It's probably still shot rock after this. So really, this is all about the angle that he leaves on the two reds that will be in the top of the forefoot. That overcurled what they had in mind. It taps the blue back and rattles off both of those reds.
Red quad here.
It's awful close, isn't it?
Wouldn't that be something? You almost lose every rock. Well, if you could throw it hard enough, other than the back button rock.
That blue at the back 8-foot might stay too.
Yeah, probably.
It's just over the... It's just a question of whether you can get over the top of the blue and the back of the forefoot enough to get it going straight back. I think you can. He's trying to hit the stone at the top of the fork, just biting the top of the forefoot, just slightly off the nose. Clip the one on the full forefoot, have it go almost straight sideways so it clips the top of that blue back onto the red behind it. This is going to have to curl. It's coming. This is close. Well, got them moving that way, but it actually jammed a little solid onto the third one.
Yeah, interesting.
Too many rocks to watch to figure out how that came off. I think one of them double hit, did it not?
I did not notice.
I think so the second red one hits the blue. No, I thought it double hit, but it didn't. You would not have thought it would have jammed that solid onto the blue. Well, it means at least Weagle has a chance to make a play on shot rock and at least force Aoki to throw against 4.
And it doesn't matter if it's an open hit or an open draw. You don't want to be facing 4 when you're up 5 like this. And putting that steal into the equation.
I think if you could, you'd like to get... I'm assuming she's going to throw the in turn here because the out is a little crowded. But if you're throwing the in, you'd like to get just across the face and roll over enough that the 3 reds are all in a line. And then he really can't afford to play the hit. He'd have to play the draw. She is setting up to throw the out turn, though.
Yeah, I agree there, Sean. You don't want to leave a pocket on this one and make it even easier.
Rolled it a little more than they would have liked. They could play the hit now. A nose hit would score the point.
Still sitting 4. And you like, what if this rock picks?
Well, that's always a possibility. That's not the one you worry about too much. But I mean, if Aoki is just a little on the outside here, he could jam this onto the stone at the back of the 8, and he wouldn't have far to roll, and it would be a steal of 2. If he crosses it, there's no catchers to keep it from rolling out.
Uh-oh. This has got some moving to do. Oh, it's coming over nice.
Jams it on the back, but does spill out just enough. He will pick up the single point, and Koana and Aoki take a 7-1 lead after 4. Weagle and Epping with last rock in the 5th.
On behalf of the
Well, Lisa Weagle, John Epping finally made Koana and Aoki look at 4 that end. Now they need to do it with last rock so they can actually put them on the board. And go Aoki with a nice draw to the top corner of the button with his first one to start things off in this 5th end. Lisa Weagle looking to chase it from the intern side. I wondered if they might actually try to move it. She actually comes up a little short. Tori Koana now will have the chance to come around. One of the big differences here between doubles and the 4-player curling is at the start of the end for the first, until there's 5 rocks in play, you can't remove anything from play, not even your own rocks. So, whereas in 4-player curling, if you were looking at this house with this score, you'd go up and peel the center guard because it is your own rock. Can't do that here either. That's interesting. I don't know whether they were playing that as a guard all the way or if she just came up short, but it does complicate this end for John Epping, Lisa Weagle. They need to try to generate some points, and in order to do that, they got to deal with that stone at the top of the button. You're down 6, though. You probably don't want to be peeling guards.
I think it's still early enough. They could set up a nice angle, I think, really on either turn.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I prefer one. What do you think, Sean? Is there a better turn here for them to play?
Well, probably the in. You could probably actually still get to it with weight to move it on the in turn. Not that I think that's what they're going to play here. I think you're right. They're just going to try to get angle. But
it is a better angle, away from the back red one, I suppose.
And the point that I wanted to make, as much as you say it's early, and it's only the second shot at the end, but that means you've only got 3 left after this. It's late early in doubles.
Darn right.
Did that about as well as he could. I'm not sure that Koana and Aoki were actually throwing the guard on the last one, but they almost have to now.
That is a lonely blueberry in there.
Well, it is. But it's queued up to go. The only other option would be come around on the outturn side, and if you get into the 4-foot, you could leave a double. You could try to get right down to the one that John just threw and maybe jiggle it enough so that the angle's not there. You have to be careful not to pop the blue out into the open. They're just playing it as a guard. So they've taken that angle away. I would expect John's playing the out turn here, try to get that angle again on the other side, and then depending what he's got left on his next one, you may see him run that blue guard in.
It's not the easiest shot, but it's a really good opportunity.
Well, the angle's there, and if you get the angle now on the other side, he might be playing it now, actually. Look at the way he's set up. Nope, he is playing the out turn. Come around, get the angle on the other side. This is almost dictated by the score, right? You have to wait to take that chance at the run back. You'd love to play it earlier just in case you don't make it, so you got another chance to do something, but you play it too early, you give Koana and Aoki time to bail out. You make this shot, surround that blue stone.
My goodness, that's just about perfect.
Yeah. Koana and Aoki can't guard everything now. They have to come in somewhere.
Yeah.
It looked like they were signaling for the wide intern to the back of the forefoot. I'm not sure that's the direction I'd be going. If you're worried about John playing that run in, I don't think you want another rock on this side of the house. I think you would come around on the out turn, freeze the red pocket, let him make the run, and, you know, at least cut the damage here.
Yeah, this game sure has turned around in a hurry, hey?
Yeah.
It's all on Aoki in the first half.
Well, and there's some danger with this shot. You make this draw, and if John is going to try that run, if he makes the run, he may just as easily make the run double. Well, they made that pretty good. It would be tough to make the run double for sure.
Yeah, this has been a real treat, this game. You know, the score is a little bit lopsided, but tons of great shots in both directions. Even last in, you know, making them shoot against 4 and still getting the single point, but that's a lot of pressure to put on a team, even though you're down by quite a bit.
It does give John a slightly wider target when he's playing the run. He could clip the red onto the blue, or if he misses the red at the top of the forefoot, he could clip that blue out of the back forefoot. He will lose his own at the back 4, but that gets rid of some of the backing as well. He's going to need this to come up a little bit.
Oh,
just
you
drives
have to get
it by
one
everything.
there.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you see any doubles there on the Blues? Like if the Weagle and Epping had another shot right now, do they have anything?
The only thing I see is, can you see enough of the blue guard that's splitting center to drive it onto the red on the that's angled right onto the blue, so the two blues can go that way
and get a little bit of drag, I guess.
Yeah, well, with some weight it might pop. Now those two blues at the top are slightly overlapped, so you definitely can't do it with the wide one, but you might be able to do it with the one on the center line. It's really hard to say from a camera angle whether you can see enough of that rock. That's one where you see those players get right down and crouch down to see what the angle looks like. Even that, we're up so high, it's hard to tell. You know, it looks like it might be there.
It's close. Yeah.
Let's put it this way. I don't think I'm guarding the intern because there's no shot there. And that's what they were looking at. Like, do you see anything on the intern? They can play the red onto the blue, but that's still giving up one at the back of the button.
Yeah, being down 6, I don't see anything worth playing over there. I agree. I think they got to give the run back a crack. See if you can get that top blue spinning enough.
Well, and that's what I'd be guarding if I was Go Aoki, but I think they're just straight guarding, replacing the guard that was just peeled.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's a guard out front that you could run into the red in the 12-foot and then run that and have that one come back into the red in the 4-foot. I just don't see anything that's got angle to get to that stone.
Oh.
They're not even going to throw it.
There you go. Yeah.
Looking like the points are going the other way, and that's just too many.
Fair enough.
Lisa Weagle, John Epping will concede, and Tori Koana, go Aoki with a dominant performance here this morning in the quarterfinal. We'll move on to the semis. We will have all of the action continuing this championship Sunday from the Aly Jenkins Memorial Mixed Doubles Classic here on Curling Stadium, Martensville. Still 3 other quarterfinals on. You can catch all of the action on the variety of channels that we have, or the variety of feeds that we have available here. We will have all of the games for the rest of the day on the Curling Stadium, Martensville, and commentary on, it looks like just selected games here. 1 semi and 1 final. Semi scheduled for 12:30 local time, so about 2 hours from now. My name's Sean Joyce. Ryan Jacks has been with me this morning. We look forward to seeing you for more exciting doubles action in 2 hours' time, semifinals.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.